This is your girl, Shan. I'm bringing you part 2 of my 3-part episode regarding businesses. This episode is going to be comparing licensed and non-licensed stylists and barbers. My best friend is an actual licensed stylist, and she's going to come on and give us the difference between the two. I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope you stay tuned to the end. Thank you. Hey y'all, today's topic is about non-licensed and licensed beauticians. I have my best friend, Latoya Harris. She goes by Dark Child in the industry of hair. And she has been doing hair since she was 15 years old, professionally 18 years old. She has done different hair wars, Cool C, hair idol battles, Goldfinger hair shows, and she has topped high. She has placed high in those hair battles. She's owned 2 hair salons. She has worked in 2 beauty schools, and she has trained stylists and students to be successful in the business. And I am proud to say she is my best friend, and she has been hooking me up since I was young. Now, Toya, give us some information regarding your beauty salon, the services that you offer, and where you're located.
Okay, I own the Beauty Factory Hair Lounge located in Redford, Michigan at 27235 7 Mile Road, Redford, Michigan 48240. I specialize in all phases of hair care, and lately, because we're in the 2020s, you know, this new wig thing has become a big deal. So I have on one of my wigs. You have on one of my wigs.
Yes, honey. Let's take a look. Beautiful.
Oh my God. And I must say, when I started doing these, I was terrified. Now, I've been doing wigs for years, but this new way of doing them is a bit of a task. So when I first started doing them, honey, it didn't even look like a wig. It just looked like a hat on my head with too much edges on each side. So now I finally have perfected it and learned how to bleach the knots. So I'm in love with it. But definitely specialize in all phases of hair care, and natural hair is actually my fave.
Short hair. You can whip up some short hair.
Well, thank you, darling. And listen, I remember when I started doing short hair, I had to be like 19 or 20, and I was working in a salon in Highland Park, and this was a high-end salon. It was probably like 12 or 13 stylists at the time, and it was during Christmas, right? And they got 2 walk-ins, and I was trying to like go to the back and hide out because I already knew they wanted a cut. And girl, they escorted me right back to the front like, you can do this. I'm screaming like, no, I can't. Now, granted, it took me almost 3.5 hours per client, but I ended up getting it, and now I absolutely love short hair. So I'm happy they pushed me.
Right. Definitely.
Yes.
Because the more you put, if don't nobody push you, then you go just stay in where you are. You'll never grow if don't nobody push you. So I'm glad they push you, because you are bomb.com at what you do. Now,
thank you.
I didn't know what the difference between a license and a certificate, and why beauty. If you know how, to me, I thought, this is what I thought. If you know how to do hair, why do I have to be licensed to know how to do hair? But I looked up, talking to you, because you are a licensed beautician and you've been in school for your craft, and you always tell me, and your this, and your follicles, and your this, and I'm just like, your what? And
all the science, cosmetology terms.
And all the science that you would tell me, and I'm just like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. But
right.
There's definitely a difference between the two, and I really want you to go over what the differences are between being licensed and non-licensed. And what I realize as well is that there are, even with makeup artists and barbers and beauticians, that a certificate is different than a license as well. A certificate just means that you just went to a class, you just took probably a 1-day class, and they certified that you are certified in that class, but not necessarily in the field. And
exactly.
An actual license means you have to get like 1,500 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have to actually work on people in order for you to be licensed.
Yes,
in your
ma'am.
craft. And I saw different like infection control and bacteria, viruses, pathogens, and I'm nervous system, skeletals, and I'm like, just to do somebody hair. So
Yes,
please give
honey.
us some information regarding licensed and non-licensed and the things that you learn when you're going to get licensed in your craft.
So let me start with license. The reason why it's important for you to be licensed working on the public, the general public, which is a state law, is because you're dealing with people's hair. And you have to know people's hair chemistry in order to maintain the healthy part of their hair. If you don't have any knowledge about it, you'll use the same shampoo on everyone, the same conditioner, the same relaxer. You don't know anything about a patch test, a skin test, especially if they want to get color. And honestly, if you don't know those things, if someone decides to sue you, they're going to win their case because you don't have a license. Being educated in this field helps you so much to be more professional. It teaches you about being professional. It teaches you about skin. It teaches you about the scalp. It teaches you about, what damaged follicles look like, alopecia, if a person is able to get a relaxer or not, or color or not, because people always say perm, but technically it's a relaxer. People say dye, technically it's color. Those are things that are important to know. And then you have to go to school, like you said, for 1,500 hours. And then after you go to school, you do get a certificate, but you must go to state board and pass the state board test, which is a 2-part test. There's a practical and there's a theory part that you have to take in order to be licensed by the state of Michigan. So it makes a valid difference, and it makes you feel better because when you don't have a license, you have to work in the hood. Okay, honey, you can't go work in a professional salon because you don't have a license. And that happened to me before I got my license. I got kicked out of a salon because I didn't have a license, and it was a high-end salon, and it made me feel terrible. And I'm like, I got to go to school and get this license. So that's the most important part. And then, you want to be educated when your clients ask you certain questions about, how do I maintain this? Why is this happening to my scalp? You need to be able to explain to them that they have dermatitis, or they have abrasions, or maybe they have damage to their scalp from, their sew-ins being too tight or their braids being too tight. And this is the product you need to use. So that's for that. Versus a stylist that doesn't have a license, you're just going about things just because this is all you know. You know what I mean? So most people, and don't get me wrong, there's some good stylists out there without a license, but I'm begging you guys to go get your license because you only can go so far with that, and you're not knowledgeable of things in these salons. And I'm hearing a lot of stories about, people coming to the salon and their hair should be shampooed already. What? Who told you that? That's not professional. And then you're charging them an extra $5 to service them if their hair isn't shampooed already. That should be included in the service. Again, you don't know what that person used at home. Their hair is probably not coming out as soft as it should come out when you shampoo it because, they shampooed it with the wrong shampoo, like Pantene or, some other shampoo that's cheap, that people think it's okay. Oh, it makes my hair feel soft until you add a flat iron to it. Then it has a film on it because it's not the proper shampoo. So that's some of the things of a person that is not licensed. They should go to school and learn those things. Again, having that education makes so much of a difference. It changes your professionalism in you. It helps grows your business skills, ethics, all those things. So you can be a better professional at what you do. And if someone jacks you up and they take you to, if you jack someone up and they have to take you to court, at least you can say, I have my license. Because if you don't, you're going to get a fine on top of a fine on top of a fine. So that's something to think about.
I commend you for going to school because my hair is definitely a lot more healthy because of you. Because
Yes.
it made my hair more healthy. You were able to help it grow. You make me sit under the dryer.
And you absolutely hate it, but it helps you.
Yes, because you are an actual licensed beautician who care about the health of people's hair. So even if people wear wigs or they wear weaves or whatever, you are going to help them take care of their hair underneath all of those wigs and weaves so that their hair can continually grow and be healthy, even in the midst of wearing the wigs and weaves.
Yes.
So I definitely appreciate that. Now, tell me, can you please tell people who are not licensed what it is that they need to do to go about getting a license? Maybe they don't know how to go about getting a license. Are there different ways to get a license?
Yes, there's different ways to get licensed. You can do an apprenticeship or you can go to a beauty school. What I like about the beauty school, though, you're hands on. So you can go to like Dorsey, or you can go to Paul Mitchell, or, you know, some other beauty schools. They have closed a lot of beauty schools down. So I don't even know what's really out there anymore. Besides those two major schools, Aveda is another good school. I did say Paul Mitchell. But what happens is you register for school, and for the first 3 months, you're in the classroom just learning the basics of, even though you already know how to shampoo, it still gives you more of a different skill on how to shampoo, how to section hair. You shouldn't blow dry the hair unless it's like 70% of water out of the hair. So you learn all those things within your first 3 months of beauty school. After that, you pass those first 100 hours or 150 hours to 350 hours. They put you on the floor where you can work on the public during your school hours. So that helps you to build your skills. After you do that, and you start working on clients on a daily, you have to take like state board prep classes. They drill these things into your head so you can have a better understanding of what you're actually doing. And it makes you feel better as a person when you go to school and you do these things. Now, if you wanted to do an apprenticeship, it takes about 2 years. And the reason why it takes 2 years is because you're in a salon learning how to become an apprentice. And then once you're done doing that, you can go to state board. Once you go to state board, you can get your license and work in that salon that you've been trained in, versus leaving a beauty school. You have to find a salon unless that school has the skills to place you in a salon that's, you know, thriving. Because this is what happens to a lot of people too when they get out of beauty school, not to get too far off subject, is that they don't build while they're in beauty school. My thing to you guys who are doing this, start with your family and friends before you graduate, because a lot of students, when they graduate, because they don't have the clientele and they want to work in these salons that are busy but not as busy, or maybe they work in a salon that is busy, but because they're new to the salon, that person may not want to sit in their chair because they may feel like they don't have enough skill. So you want to make sure that you always start with your family and friends to help you build that skill level. So those are the two things you can do if you want to go to get your license: a beauty school, or you can do an apprenticeship.
Right. And it seems like if they are non-licensed beauticians and they're already doing it, that they would want to do the apprenticeship because they already have the clientele, they're already in the salons. It wouldn't matter if it takes 2 years because you're just doing what you're already doing.
But I think as people get comfortable, like, you know, they've been doing hair in a salon for so long, it's like, oh, you know, I got to go to school either from 8 to 3:30, or I got to go to school from 3 to 9. What about my money that I'm making? What you don't understand is you have to involve that into your schedule. You have to incorporate that, because it's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
If you really want to do something, you have to make a sacrifice so you can become greater. And you have to always know this: the people who will stick by you while you're in school will be there when you get out. I promise. They're not going to leave you if you've been taking care of them, because honestly, most of them don't know you're going to school, but if they do know, they support that because they want you to learn and grow so you can be abrupt on the new trends and all the different educational levels that you need to have so you can be successful in life.
Right. I appreciate it. And also, can you tell us how people can get in contact with you, your social media details? You've already given us your address. I'll also include it on the video in the detailed descriptions. But can you give us information regarding your social media so that they can take a look at some of the things that you've done?
Okay, so I am on Facebook under my full name, my whole government name, Latoya Amir Harris. So you can find me on there. You can find me on Instagram at Dark Child the Stylist. I have a Facebook beauty factory page that's being corrected because right now there's a lot of issues with it. So I'm going to have to create a whole new page. But I post on my Facebook page and Instagram page, so you can definitely find me on there. And you want to book with me ASAP because now these days are filling up every single day. So That's it.
So if you want your wigs, if you want your hair done, you want your hair to grow, you want to find out more in regards to maybe an apprenticeship, what school they can go to, anything regarding hair, you can see Latoya Darkchild Harris. Take a look at her social media information. I will also include it in the videos, and go and check her out. Go and get your wigs, go and get your hair done, healthy hair growth. That's right. All right. Thank you, Bia, for coming on and giving us all the details. I love you.
I love you too, and thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Success can be a blessing or a curse. Success can be for the better or the worse. It turns into a blessing when it is handled in the right way, and transformed into a curse when it is misused in any way. Not everyone can handle success. You gotta be strong, because if you're not, you'll end up using success to do wrong. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. Broken down into steps becomes a plan. Backed by actions becomes a reality. Make becoming licensed your reality. If you're watching me right now, that means you stayed tuned to the end, and I greatly appreciate it. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 14:40, but in all things, not some things or just a little bit of things, but in all things, we must do things properly and in an orderly manner. So please, if we are doing our craft and we're doing nails, we're doing makeup, we're doing hair, and we are not licensed, if your state requires that you are licensed to do your craft, let's get licensed, people. The Bible says to do things in order. Your state is telling you to do things in an orderly manner. So let's do things in an orderly manner and get the proper license you need to do your craft. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions regarding getting licensed at your craft, you may look at the descriptions below. I have put all of Darkchild's information in the descriptions. She gave you her phone number. Please give her a call and she can help you in getting licensed in your craft. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back and see me next week on the next episode of I Am Shan Deyaun.